Hi guys, my name is Jim Soibough. Today, I'm going to be reviewing one of the most ghoulish, spine-chilling Halloween classics ever put to screen. A Christmas Story. From the decadent and godforsaken era of the 1980s, the film follows the story of a small boy who only has one wish for Christmas, a toy rifle, full of terrifying gender stereotypes, blatant misogyny, and spooky outdated racial stereotypes, and not to mention corny jokes. Trigger me timbers, just thinking about this movie makes me want to curl up in a fetal position and cry in sheer terror. So grab your decaf soy-based pumpkin spice latte, cause today I'm taking a look at this classic that's brought families together for years. And by that I mean, I'm going to point out everything problematic in it compared to today's hypersensitive standards. So let's all get triggered with me in that hasn't aged well? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen and non-binary folk to, that hasn't aged well? ? The show where I cover old movies and television programs that are generally well liked and smugly shit all over them, for no good reason other than the petty fact that I have a PhD in gender studies, and that, quite frankly, makes me better than everyone else. That, and I have an immeasurably small penis. As I aforementioned, today I'm reviewing A Christmas Story. Here we can see the film is directed by a white cis hetero male. Gross. And to make matters worse, is entitled A Christmas Story, which is right off the bat a yikes from me. Sorry, but, Hebrew Witzmanberg, you can just fuck off and die with your Hanukkah and your Yom Kippur. We then see our protagonist Ralphie coveting after a Red Ryder air rifle, as being mansplained to us by adult Ralphie.
The Red Ryder 200-shot range model air rifle.
A toy celebrating the indigenous murdering land-stealing soldiers of genocide in America. This is when I immediately rushed off into the bathroom and hurled my gluten-free vegan dinner into the toilet. We then see the two children roughhousing after being called down to breakfast. Toxic masculinity much? Has anyone not seen the Gillette ad? Which I was actually in. Later on at school, one of the students dares another student to put his tongue against a freezing light pole, causing him to cry as much as me after finding out the MASH report got cancelled. I still get upset thinking about it. In class, the teacher gives the students an assignment themed What I Want for Christmas, which gives Ralphie the hope that if he writes the assignment just right, it would somehow lead to him getting the gift he's been dreaming of. Although on their way home, we see the gang confronted by Scott Fargus, the town hooligan. Ralphie's brother reacts by just lying on the ground. My method would have been to have just sided with the bullies, and denounce ever having anything to do with your friends to begin with. Like a pathetic snake. I've done it 1,000,000 times. We now get to the scene that solidifies this film as a true horror. During dinner, we then see the father getting what appears to be a large wooden package delivered to his doorstep.
Fragile. It must be Italian.
Well, I think that says fragile, honey.
Oh, yeah.
In which, after some difficulty, is revealed to be a woman's bare leg.
What is it?
Wait, it's a leg!
Not only is this incredibly degrading towards women, but it's also conforming to outdated beauty standards. Who's to say it wouldn't have been any less sexy if it was, say, Melissa McCarthy's leg? We then see the child actually put his hand up the leg without its consent. This is when I immediately started crying profusely and had to get my non-sexual, emotional male partner to help me calm down. If I was that child's parents, I would have forcefully given a mandatory consent class, followed by immediate public castration. You have to make an example of this kind of thing, you know. Molesting women is no laughing matter, and I would know. I've molested many. After using a naughty word in front of his father...
Only I didn't say fudge. I said the word.
And finding out he only got a C on the assignment, and with his dreams being more cancelled than Louis C.K., he becomes despondent, which he then vents by unleashing a tidal wave of toxic masculinity the likes of Ernest Hemingway and Scott Fargus, although the mother sympathizes with his plight and even tries to comfort him, instead of sitting him down, prying his eyes open, and forcing him to watch an entire season of Tuca and Bertie, like I would have done. He wakes up on Christmas morning where he excitedly unwraps a pink-knitted bunny rabbit suit in which he's made to wear, although because of patriarchal societal conditioning, he's been brainwashed into hating it. He then finds out his father had gotten him the red rifle in the end. In his jubilation, he rushes outside to play with it, in which he then subsequently nearly shoots his eye out.
Careful out there, don't shoot your eye out.
Which is honestly what he gets for indulging in toxic and problematic toys. In fact, just the other day I committed self-flagellation for remembering how much I enjoyed the Harry Potter books as a child. After some dogs come in and ruin their plate of roasted murder, they decide to head to a Chinese restaurant to have their Christmas dinner, in which we get this. Why, if I had enough testosterone capable of feeling physical anger, I would be seething right now. Everyone involved in this film should be prosecuted for hate speech to the fullest extent. I don't care if the actors in this scene are Asian in real life. The director was clearly using his white privilege as a power dynamic to control and enslave these poor defenseless minorities. So that about wraps it up for a Halloween segment of, that hasn't aged well? ? I hope you all learned something from me, your Lord and Master Jim Soibough. Next time I'll be reviewing one of the most filthy, depraved, morally repugnant pieces of media ever committed to the public. An old obscure sitcom entitled Friends? Now if you don't mind, I'm off to heat up a bagel and then use it to pleasure myself to one of Greta Thunberg's new climate change speeches. Stay lit, fam.